Okay, hi there. Ted here, BigGoofyRunner, back for another weekly video talking about weight loss and my running and all those kind of fun things. Not operating from a script today, so let's see where we end up. Anyway, so about the running, 4 runs this week. Slight back off on the long distance mileage. Last week's long distance run was 9 miles. This week's long distance run was 6. But that's all part of the plan. I did all the required runs this week, which, again, I'm on a Hal Higdon novice plan. So there's 4 runs during the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday. So I did all the planned runs on the planned days, no issues there. So that was all good. It's kind of nice to have the lighter week for the longer distance run because my brain definitely was not in the long distance run yesterday. So that was kind of nice to have that short one. And then the different weights and things like that I do during the week. I did all my daily chin-ups, no problems with those. I do chin-ups, tricep dips, and push-ups every morning while the dogs are eating their breakfast. So I got all that stuff done. Then on the work days, every day I did what I had scheduled to do for just little exercises where I stop for about a minute and do arm curls and tricep extensions or something like that, where just depending on the day, I've got a little small set of one set of exercise that I just stand up from my desk, do a couple things, and get back to work. So that all went good. All that stuff was done through the week. I did planks every one of the weekdays as well, that kind of stuff. And then on the weekends, I've been taking it easy and not doing any weights, just to let the body kind of relax and let the muscles rebuild, just to make sure I'm not overworking anything, so I can continue to do what I'm doing. So that worked well. That's all good. Through the week, let me check here how things were going. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, so through the week, all that stuff was done well. The running went well. Work was perfectly fine. No big issues there. No problems, so that's all good. Weight was solid. So when I checked in last week, on the 21st of February, today's February 28th, this will probably get posted on March 1st, but on February 21st, I was 253 pounds, which was 14 pounds down from my heaviest on January 4th, so that was good, 14 pounds down, and then it's just like 2 pounds down from where I started working from home on March 19th, 2020. So, I started the COVID-19 working from home in March last year, and I was 255 pounds, had that weight come down a little bit. 253 was the lowest weight I'd been. I'd been there a couple times early on, April last year, and then got down to it again for last week. So that was all good, that I was down, because I'd had a climb through November and December and peaked in January 3rd and 4th, and that wasn't pleasant, so that tweaked me to do a bunch of changes, and continuing on with those changes with hard-boiled eggs and protein shakes for breakfast and that kind of thing, and just watching my my carb intake, not full keto kind of diet or anything like that, but just making sure I'm getting a lot of protein and reducing sugar and white flour essentially in my diet, just by watching out for breads and things like that. So that's all. That was all good. So then this week was really good as well. I got down to 251. And I was there for actually 3 days, 25th, 26th, 27th, 251. And then yesterday after the long run, after I did the long run yesterday on the treadmill, I did a bunch of stuff like cleaning the carpet, started a bunch of laundry, did a whole whack of different things before I had a shower. And then I weighed myself again after the shower, and I was down to 249.5. So that was interesting to see. I mean, obviously that's dehydration. I needed to get some water in my system, so I made sure I was drinking well through the rest of the day. That was all done by like noon or whatever, so I had to be careful for the rest of the day, just making sure I wasn't, sabotaging myself and things like that. Did sabotage myself a little bit though, because I did have sandwiches for lunch that, of course, had bread, which I've been trying to avoid, but I was hungry and that's what we had in the house. And I had that, some just ham and cheese sandwiches of just very generally healthy. It just shows with that, and we had some homemade pizza for supper, more white flour kind of stuff. And yeah, this morning my weight was 252.5. Without being silly or doing anything crazy or eating too much or whatever. So it's just that white bread, I get a bit of a spike in my system, and that stuff's going to take some time to kind of shake out. So I suspect my weight will be back down again tomorrow, relatively easily without any problems. So I am still moving in the right direction. Just today was a weird bump and a little scary and irritating, really, more than anything. I know it's not a real measurement, but it's what showed up on the scale, so so that kind of sucks. But anyway, that's 251 is the number for this week, which is good. That's 2 pounds down from where I was last week, and yeah, just going to continue that on. 250 is a big number. The lowest I got anywhere in 2020. So the lowest I got anywhere in 2020 was a 250. I got there for like one day in January. And then when I get into looking back into 2019, really 250 to 255 was a window I was in for most of 2019. If I look at 2019, I was in near the 250 range, got up to like 255, those kind of things through 2019, which not great numbers. It was kind of a slow climb in 2019, but that was continuing a slow climb. Really, I've been slowly climbing since early 2015. So what that all was is 2014, I had a great year, probably my best year running ever. 1,971 miles run that year. Marathon and half marathon PRs set. Ran my first ultra, almost hitting 50 miles in 12 hours. I was more than capable to do more than 50 miles, but I basically walked the last 6 hours of that 12-hour ultra. So definitely could have done better there, that kind of stuff. But 2014 was the year. Culminated in a fantastic dopey challenge in January 2015. And then there was kind of a mental decision when I left that race that I wasn't going to do the dopey or goofy again for a while. And that probably ate at my brain a little bit. The treadmill I was using broke, and now I've complained about the current treadmill we have. That's what we got then. And it's the fact that that treadmill's lasted 6 years is not a testament to the strength of that treadmill. It's a testament to the fact that I don't use it nearly as much as I used the previous treadmills, which kind of sucks. But so basically, starting there in 2015, things started to go south. I did do more ultras in 2015, a couple more, but I was definitely on a downward slope on my ability to run. My motivation to run was definitely down. My weight started to climb. A bunch of other things. I know in spring of 2015, I had a bit of a health scare that was self-inflicted. Black licorice is not a great thing to have lots of, let's put it that way. But no lasting issues or anything like that, and it's not like my heart was about to explode or I had a heart attack or anything like that. It was just my motivation and my drive to run kind of died, and my weight basically did a slow climb. Even though I was doing some more goofy challenges, did all that extra stuff, things like that, and I did do some training, my heart was never really in it. And got to got to the bad point on January 3rd and 4th where I was 267. So being back down to 251 is good. It's a good start. I still have a lot more work to go. It's funny, if I look at the chart, I'm not going to do that in this video, but in future videos when I get closer to goals, we'll see this long, slow climb up to that, and then this sharp dip back down to some better numbers. So that's it's started off really good. So I did make these changes starting in January of this year. Work computers are making noise. Yeah, but I did start this weight loss journey in January 2021, and yeah, as I said before, I am now down. Well, from 267 to 251, which was yesterday's weight. That's 16 pounds down, so that's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. The 250 that I want to hit below, that's my real next goal. That's a line in the sand. So the goals were, like with the 267, is I had to get back to the 255 I started working from home at. So I did that a few weeks back. So I broke that barrier. The next goal is to get below 250 because it's this weird mental barrier, and that gets me back over a year ago kind of deal, and into a better headspace. Next goal after that, I'm not really quite sure. I think 235 is kind of the number I'm shooting for next. So it's a longer step. There was a big step, shorter step, and now a bigger step again that I'm shooting for. And hopefully that'll work. If I continue on the path I'm going, that shouldn't be a problem. It's just going to take some time. So I may change up the short-term goal just to give the little celebrations as I hit the milestones, that kind of thing, a little bit better. And just a little bit better for the mindset. But that's kind of the number, the 235. And the 235 is significant because in the past, it's around the 235 range where I've been able to train running properly and actually do solid running and things like that. That's usually the window where if I'm in that weight range or lower, I can hit a 2-hour half marathon, with proper training, of course. So I'm not saying that when I hit 235 magically I'll be able to run a 2-hour half. I have to be trained for that, but we'll see how that kind of goes. But that's kind of why that's a spot. That's a mark in the weight loss calendar there where I want to hit. So getting down to that would be good, and then from there I'll have to reevaluate to see how far I get. In 2014, when I was doing really good, that best year ever, I was in the 222 to 217 range. So hovering around 220 pounds, hour and 46 half marathon, just over a 4-hour full marathon where I fell apart in the last half. So all those kind of things, that's where the weight range I was. I could have still lost weight from there, probably, but that's just kind of the range where I sat and was quite comfortable and was pretty happy there. But I think I've got much more weight in muscle mass now than I did in 2014. So like shoulders and arms and chest and things like that. There's a lot more muscle there than had been there. So I don't really know, and I won't know until I lose more fat, what my final end goal will be. So there's more thinking that needs to be done, but I just need to keep moving forward, and then I get to a spot where I can make the evaluation on what the next step is. That's the idea anyway. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Other things this week, we fixed our patio door. We've had some problems with it. They don't sell the patio door the same way we've got it now, just because the track that it runs on, this metal piece, it's almost impossible to find this track. They just don't sell that anymore because obviously there's lots of problems with it. What we found was it's this metal V that the thing rides on. It's just pressure. The door just rides on this thing. It's just pressure locked down. And we'd find in the winter, especially when you open the door frequently for the dogs and things like that, snow would come in, melt, refreeze, and it kind of lifted that track up, and it kind of was bowing it, and a bunch of other weird stuff happened, and we'd done some fixes to it over the years, and we tried a few different things to fix it. Finally, we managed to find a place here in Canada that had the track. That came in on Friday. We set that up Friday night. All good. So that's all working now. That door slides way easier than it has in years. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm tempted to order another set of that just to have it for the future. But anyway, that is that was a good thing to get done. Clean carpets again, as I said. Some other cleaning around the house, a bunch of laundry, things like that. Just normal house stuff. Just kind of still watching the family YouTube site because I'd mentioned in previous videos the couple, or at least one old video, just decided to go crazy for a while. Like, we've gained over 1,000 followers, or subscribers, sorry, on YouTube on the family channel in the last month, which is pretty funny. Pretty funny to watch. So it is interesting just to watch that climb. Things have slowed down now. Not back to where they were before that started, so maybe there's some sustained viewership change there. But we did get from, we're probably right now, we're down, and we're kind of running a little steady, basically steady for views, and it's about 4 times what we were before it took off and went crazy. So it's kind of funny. It was fun to watch. But it just kind of bring up an interesting thing, though, because go back to 2012. 2012, in the fall, in September, I started training for Goofy Challenge. And I wrote basically what I was doing in a Microsoft Word document and broke it up by day, by run, how I was thinking, what I was thinking, that kind of stuff. I'd already done one Goofy Challenge and back in 2010, but I wasn't properly trained for it and things like that. And that was the year it snowed, so that wasn't great. But in fall of 2012, I said I wanted to do another Goofy Challenge, and I wanted to do it properly. So I started training, and I was probably in the 250 range in September that year, and I got down to 235, I think, or something like that, for the Goofy Challenge in January. So decent weight loss there, and so I trained, I wrote down what I was thinking, all that kind of stuff, and then in December, I kind of went, this would make maybe a good blog. So I created BigGoofyRunner, and WordPress let me post posts back, but I think it was December 5th or something like that was when I registered the domain, to December 4th or 5th of 2012, and put in all these posts, what I was doing, and then just eventually got on Twitter and things like that. But what I did different in 2012, from the January 2013 races in Disney World, is after I was done with those races, I continued training to the next marathon, to the next. What I had done before is I would train for the marathon, stop for a bit, and then I basically start from scratch again. I kept going, and I continued training through 2013, and then I continued training through 2014 with my really great year. I was doing all the blog stuff. I had, Twitter. I had all these kind of things started, and I was seeing the power and the viewership of these various social media things, but mentally I kept blocking out video. I couldn't think of video, which is funny because I'm doing more video now than anything. But at the time, the only person I really knew that was doing anything Run Disney with video was Lee Hodl's marathon videos. And I just basically I looked at doing maybe running some stuff and recording like Lee Hodl was doing and stuff like that, but had some camera issues, and while I was trying to run this was before Rogue gimbals were easy to get a hold of and things like that. So a couple of attempts I did weren't great, so I just I think I put video out of my head. It was funny because January 2013, my wife came down with me to do that race. My brother was there too, and we stayed on the boardwalk, and it was a great trip. It's like, now looking back at it, I should have been blogging that, and then and like doing video blogs then to catch this early wave. And what really hammers that home is about a month later, we came down with the whole family, because that was just my wife and I meeting up with my brother, and just adult trip. But less than a month after that trip, we came down and we stayed at the beach club, and we got this, this was when the Canadian dollar was very strong compared to the American dollar. Like, a Canadian dollar was worth more, like $1.10 American. So it was great for us. And this was before really Disney hotel prices went just off the roof. And as an annual pass holder, you get like 30-35% off a deluxe room. Made it justifiable to stay at in that area, because right now it's very expensive too, and that's why we went DVC in the end, is because we wanted to stay in that area, and that was the cheapest way to do it. But so we booked a room at the beach club just because the kids were still quite young, and we wanted to be able to use Stormalong Bay, especially a sand bottom pool, that kind of thing. So we came in and we got a bump. So what happens at beach club when you come in, or what has happened when it's been a while since we've stayed at the beach club, but you come in and they have a greeter at the front that's got a clipboard, and basically what they're doing is they're checking to see if you're club level or if you're a standard guest. If you're a standard guest, they direct you to the normal check-in area. If you're club level, they escort you to the elevators up to the 5th floor where the club level check-in is. And you get a little special sit-down area. They'll bring you a drink. It's cool. We knew that that was what happened because the previous year we had gotten this lucky bump where they bumped us up the club level then, and so it was like, oh, that's cool. And so we knew what them escorting people to the elevator meant. So we got this. Basically, they escorted us in. So it's like, oh, we had just booked a normal room, but they were escorting us to the elevator. So it's like, oh, we got bumped to club level, 2nd year in a row. Fantastic. And as we're talking to the lady on the elevator ride up, she mentions we'll be on the 2nd floor. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, because we knew all the club level stuff was on the 5th floor. So it's like, okay, well, maybe they just kind of gave us this bump where we can access the Stone Harbor Club, which was the club level room where you can get little snacks and breakfasts and things like that. And so we kind of wrote whatever. If we get access to that room, this is fantastic. That's the best thing that can happen, right? So that's awesome. It's more than we could possibly have expected. So that's great. So we get in there and they're talking with us, and we get our stuff all checked in, and we're looking at different stuff, and the person checking us in had to go check something, so they left, and I'm looking at my sign-in form, and on it there's a piece of paper that says room type 2BDR STE. 2BDR STE. And I'm like, I go to Heather and I'm like, does that mean 2-bedroom suite? What's this? And I was like, we didn't know, and it's like, okay, well, whatever. We've got a room, so, and we got bumped, and we can go to the club level room. That's all we care about. So we get all our stuff checked in, and we're all good. We go down to the room. We open the room, and we see a normal beach club room. The 2 queen beds, the patio at the side, bathroom, and all that kind of stuff. Just looks normal. But as I'm just kind of looking at the room going, okay, this is excellent. This is great. This will work perfect. I hear my son in the distance going, this is awesome. Like, where is he? Where did he go? And there's a door open, which would normally be an interjoining room door that normally would be locked for any interlocking rooms. I'm like, oh, did somebody leave that open accidentally? So I go to look in, and there's a living room, there's a wet bar, couches, and all this kind of stuff. And we keep walking, and the room keeps going. And there's a king bed and a separate room and a separate bathroom. So it was a 2-bedroom suite. It was a standard hotel room with the 2 queen beds, which is great because each kid got a queen bed. And then my wife and I got a king bed in a separate room way far away. And that room had a view of the boardwalk. Like we could look out our door. We're on the 2nd floor. We look out our window in the bedroom, and we look down through a tree, and the walkway by the right in front of the beach club is just right there. And then we see the sand and the water and the view of boardwalk across the lake. And it was like, oh, wow. And like, so the kids' room, they got a view of the quiet pool, and it's like, this is great. And it wasn't like a DVC room where there was laundry in the room or anything like that, but it was fantastic. We looked it up. I think at the time we paid about $250 a night, and that room was going for $1,600 a night at the time. Just wow. So that was awesome. That was cool and that was a great trip. We were there for 9 nights in that room, and it was fantastic. It was a long walk to the Storm Harbor Club to get, because it was way off and gone in the hotel, and then you had to go to the elevator, because the only way up the 5th floor was to use the elevator, so you had to go a long way, go up the elevator, get in there. But we could actually, instead of going there, we could be in Epcot through security and in through the back gate, through the International Gateway gate, in less than 5 minutes from where we were. So we would come out of the room, we'd walk down a hallway, walk down a set of stairs, go out a back door, and we'd be on the walkway to Epcot. We timed it less than 5 minutes into Epcot from our room. Wow. But what the whole point of that story is that we took pictures, a little bit of video here and there on that whole trip, that trip we did Jedi Academy for the kids, we did princess meet and greets, we did, it was a big trip, we did a lot of stuff, and it was an exciting trip. We took a lot of pictures, because my mindset at the time was still photos. We should have videoed more of that and started our YouTube career then. That's kind of the point there, that there was this missed opportunity where we could have hit some very unique window there that I think the universe was poking us. Do video. And, I had just started blogging, so I was about the typing, and blogging I needed pictures, so I was about the pictures still. And I've been big on pictures for years. I'm not a great photographer, but I've been big on pictures for years. If we'd been into video then properly, that could have been great. And then that's the same year we put in our pool. So that was a huge whole story. There's a whole big story about how the pool went in, issues with our yard because we found a spring in our yard, right where we were going to put the pool, and the ground was collapsing, and there was a whole story there. And that would have been great vlogs. And there was up until that year, I had been using just a work smartphone, an old BlackBerry. But that year I got my own personal smartphone. So I had a 1080p video camera essentially in my pocket at all times. Should have been doing video. So that's maybe not a regret, but it is a missed opportunity. So that is, when I look back for the last 10 years or whatever, that's the one major missed opportunity of things that could have done differently. Besides my weight, if I could have gotten that climb to level off and bring it down earlier rather than what I'm doing now, but I'm correcting that now. So that's something I can correct now. That's the one kind of thing that's, regret's the wrong word, but it is a missed opportunity. And as it is, things are fantastic for us right now. This working from home is great for me. Family's fantastic. We're doing good. There's we didn't lose any jobs or anything like that. This is good. This has been good, and we're in a great spot, and this is fantastic. But man, that one little missed opportunity. So I guess that if I'm getting anywhere with that, it's watch for those opportunities when they pop up and shoot for them. So that may be kind of explaining why I'm doing this as a video now and why I'm recording these. I'm putting them out on BigGoofyRunner YouTube channel just so that it's there and there's the history of it. And then when I get a little further and I've gotten a bit more into the weight loss journey, that's going to start hitting Twitter, where we got 1,000 followers, and did that kind of stuff with, this is the progression I've made. This is where I'm at, as opposed to, that maybe one of the things that I was chasing from 2015 on is that, hey, I'm starting this, and then it would fall apart. But I'd raise my hand and go, hey, I'm starting this again, and I'd fall apart. I'm going to get where I need to go, or get a good distance along my journey, and then start going, look what I've done. And I think that's going to be more of an interesting story, showing what has happened, as opposed to, this is what I'm hoping for So anyway, that's that's the idea. That's the thought. I think we've gone over quite a long video this time, so I'm going to shut this one down. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.